One wrong move when choosing where to live in the Charleston area could cost you thousands, or just as bad, put you in a place that doesn't actually fit your lifestyle. And if you've been looking at Summerville, you've probably seen both sides. Some people say it's one of the best values anywhere around Charleston, and others will tell you it's too far, too crowded, or growing too fast. So in this video, I'm going to break down Summerville in detail, what it actually feels like to live here, what the real estate market looks like right now, and most importantly, who it's a perfect fit for and who should probably not be looking here at all. Summerville can be an incredible move if you understand it before you buy. Let's start with real estate, because this is where Summerville really stands out. Over the last year, roughly 5,000 homes have sold in the Summerville area alone. So this is a very active market with a lot of movement and a lot of opportunity depending on how you approach it. For home prices, I used most of central Summerville but included Nexton and Cane Bay. For detached single-family homes, the median sales price is sitting right around $415,000 over the last 12 months, with the average being closer to $445,000. Price per square foot sits at about $195. Compare that though to an area like West Ashley where the average price per square foot is closer to $285. For a $500,000 home, you would be looking at anywhere from 700 to 800 square feet more for the same money. Now compare that to places like Mount Pleasant or even parts of West Ashley, and you start to see why so many people are looking here. You're getting significantly more house for your money. For attached homes like townhomes and condos in Summerville, the numbers are even more accessible. The median is around $290,000, with the average right under $300, and price per square foot sits around $180. Realistically, this is one of the few places in the Charleston market where you can still get a home in the mid-200s and have real options. Now, one thing you need to understand is that new construction plays a massive role in Summerville, and not all of the data gets fully reported through the MLS. So when you're hearing these numbers, take them as strong estimates, but the true size of the market is actually even bigger than what you're seeing here. Now, let's talk about how fast homes are moving. About half of all homes, both detached and attached, are going under contract within the first 30 days. That tells you that demand is still strong, but at the same time, based on inventory right now, this is leaning more towards a buyer's market than what we've seen over the past few years. In fact, in February 2026, the greater Summerville area saw a 33% increase in the inventory of homes for sale. And what that means for you as a buyer is you actually have options. You can compare homes, you can negotiate, and especially with new construction, you can take advantage of builder incentives that a lot of people don't even realize are out there. And that brings us into one of the biggest advantages of Summerville, new construction. A huge portion of the homes here are brand new communities, and builders are still being aggressive to move inventory. We're seeing things like rate buydowns, closing cost coverage, and in some cases, price reductions depending on the builder and the timing. So while resale homes are still strong, new construction is where a lot of buyers are finding the best overall value, especially if you know how to navigate those deals correctly. Now let's talk about entry points, because this is one of the biggest reasons people are choosing Summerville. If you're looking for a detached single-family home, you can realistically start your search in the mid-300s. For attached homes like townhomes, you're typically looking around $225,000 to $250,000 as an entry point. Try finding that anywhere closer to downtown Charleston or Mount Pleasant, and you'll realize quickly why Summerville is growing as fast as it is. Now, beyond just the purchase price, let's talk about what it actually costs to live here. One of the things Summerville does really well is flexibility. There are plenty of communities with no HOA at all, which is getting harder and harder to find all over Charleston. If you do choose an HOA neighborhood, most standard communities are going to run you between $50 and $100 per month. Master plan communities can get close to $200, and if you're looking at 55 plus communities, those can usually range anywhere from $350 to $750 per month, depending on amenities. So you really have options depending on how you want to live. Now let's talk about location and commute, because this is where Summerville becomes a trade-off. From Summerville, you're looking at about 35 to 40 minutes to get to the heart of downtown Charleston during late morning or midday. Mount Pleasant is around 40 minutes, Isle of Palms is about 45 minutes, and Goose Creek is very close, typically about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, traffic during peak commute times can definitely be a pain, but it's still not nearly as bad as some of the other major southeast Charleston areas. That being said, I would not recommend Summerville for someone who needs to commute daily to Charleston, Mount Pleasant, Daniel Island, James Island, or especially Johns Island. That drive will wear on you. But for remote workers or even hybrid schedules, this becomes one of the best options in the entire Charleston metro. Now, let's talk about what Summerville actually feels like to live in. And this is where I really think it separates itself. Summerville feels like its own town. It's not just an extension of Charleston. It has its own identity, its own pace, and its own community. At the same time, you're still close enough to downtown and the beaches to enjoy everything Charleston has to offer. Day to day, you have everything you need. Grocery stores, retail, restaurants, gyms, it's all here. And while it doesn't have the nightlife like downtown Charleston, there's still plenty to do. Downtown Summerville is a perfect example. You've got a beautiful central green space with shops and restaurants lining it, and they host events constantly. There's a weekly farmers market every Saturday through spring, summer, and part of fall. You've got the Flowertown Festival, which is one of the biggest events in the area, the Sweet Tea Festival, Third Thursday events with vendors and live music, so it's active just in a different way. It's more daytime, more community focused, and a lot more family friendly. Now let's talk about who Summerville is actually perfect for. In my opinion, this is one of the best areas in the Charleston market for younger couples and families. You've got less traffic overall, decent schools, a wide variety of churches, and plenty to do without feeling like you're forced into a fast-paced lifestyle. It also gives buyers a ton of flexibility when it comes to neighborhoods. If you want an older, slower-paced community, think 90s brick homes with no HOA, you can find that. If you want a newer, self-sustaining neighborhood with parks, playgrounds, and families everywhere, you can find that as well. The variety is one of the biggest strengths of Summerville. Now on the flip side, let's talk about who should probably not move here. If your lifestyle revolves around downtown Charleston, walking to restaurants, nightlife, being right near the water, this is probably not the best fit. If you hate driving, it's not a good fit. And again, if you need to commute daily into Charleston or Mount Pleasant, I would seriously think twice. Now let's talk about growth, because this is something I've seen personally. I've lived here for about 15 years, and the growth has been unbelievable. Summerville has expanded fast, and it's continuing to grow. You're seeing more communities, more development, and more infrastructure being added. They're also finishing up another Roper St. Francis hospital about 10 minutes from downtown Summerville, which is a big deal for the area. So this isn't a place that's slowing down anytime soon. Finally, let's touch on one more thing, downtown Summerville specifically. This area is filled with history, character, and charm, but with that comes higher prices. Nicer homes in that immediate area can easily reach well over $1 million. The area is filled with larger plantation-style homes with generously sized lots and usually plenty of tree coverage and garden space. So while Summerville overall is known for value, certain pockets, especially near downtown Summerville, can get very expensive depending on what you're looking for. At the end of the day, Summerville is one of the best value plays in the entire Charleston market right now. You're getting more house for your money, more options, and a lifestyle that works really well for a lot of people. But it's not for everyone, and the biggest mistake you can make is choosing Summerville without understanding what you're trading off. If you're thinking about buying in Summerville or anywhere in the Charleston area, avoiding mistakes is only half the battle. You also need access to the right opportunities. There are a lot of homes, especially new construction and off-market deals, that most buyers never even see. If you want access to those or just want help figuring out if Summerville is actually the right fit for you, reach out to me directly. I see more opportunities before they hit the market than most agents in all of Charleston, and I'd be happy to help you take advantage of them.